Well, it's always fun for us to give you the chance to meet singers, songwriters, artists that maybe you haven't had the chance to get to know in great detail. And we get that chance today. Maybe a familiar face. Bailey Rae joins us. How you doing, Bailey?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. It's so much fun.
I am glad this worked out. We kind of got to know each other at some of the award shows in
Yeah,
Texas.
absolutely. Those are big old family reunions over there.
Aren't they?
Yes. Once you're there, I mean, they're just, you meet everybody, you see everybody that you haven't seen in a while, and it's just always a good time.
You know, there's always a year that I can't make it and I skip, and I feel like I'm missing out. And I see all the pictures. I just can't do that anymore.
I know. I'm going to try to make it this year, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I have a gig the night before, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it back.
Oh, no. You got to be there.
I know. I'm going to
turn and burn, Bailey. You may recognize Bailey Rae from season 19 of The Voice on NBC. And you're going to be playing a couple of shows here in Nebraska. Joe's Honky-Tonk on Friday night, and then I believe you got a gig in Valentine, Nebraska, coming up on Saturday. But maybe you have some family ties back to the Cornhusker State. Could you kind of walk us through that?
Absolutely. So my grandma still lives there. My mom is a Denair. She's from Valentine, Nebraska. And that was her hometown, and that's just where she grew up. And so I spent a lot of summers in Valentine, and I'm from Southeast Oklahoma, but I spent a lot of my summers and a lot of my time in Valentine, and it's always good. I did a show last year around Christmas, I think, in Valentine as well. So it's always good to do a summer show where we can go outdoors, because better than anybody, those Nebraskan summers are freezing and you can't do nothing outside. So, whenever I can do a summer show, this is going to be so much fun. So my grandma still lives in Valentine. I have a ton of family friends. I have friends in Hutchinson, Kansas, and I've got a kind of family everywhere from Kansas to Nebraska, just kind of up in those parts. And of course, Wanda Everly's in Broken Bow. And I think that my mama was in her wedding, or.
Oh, wow.
They're really good friends, or I don't know how all that works, but I've got a lot of family and friends up in that area, and so
Isn't it funny how the whole it really is a small world, and this network goes everywhere, and I imagine that you see that all the time as you travel and perform.
It's so fun too, because I'm a Okie. I'm a true Okie. But whenever I meet someone that's from Nebraska, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're from Nebraska. And it's like such a big deal, but they're probably like, what are you yelling at me for? But it's always a big deal to me when somebody's from, an area that I'm kind of familiar with. And so it's a small world for sure.
Nebraskans like making those connections as well.
Absolutely.
Bailey Rae joins us today as we get to know her ahead of her shows coming up. Let's talk a little bit about The Voice. You were selected for the show by John Legend, which I think you were the first country artist that he ever got on his team.
Yeah, so that was a weird story. I went to LA in such a weird time in my life, in such a weird time in everybody's lives. It was 2020, smack dab in the middle of COVID, and I was kind of nervous going on that show. Of course, anybody would be, but LA was so shut down, and I didn't know what it was going to look like for me. And I tell you what, I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. It was very sequestered in my hotel room. Couldn't really go anywhere. I guess July of 2020 was when I went out there. I stayed out there for about 4 months, and my mama got to go with me. She ended up with a false positive COVID test the week of blind auditions. I was supposed to go Monday. I was supposed to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I finally got to go, and John was the only team that was open. And so I was very blessed that he turned his chair, and it was a good opportunity for sure. I didn't know if he was gonna, because I am a country bumpkin, so I wasn't very sure he was gonna be able to turn his chair or not.
Yeah, you got it to turn, and it worked out great for you, as I think you were a top 9 finisher that season, which is phenomenal considering how many people apply each and every season for The Voice, and it's a unique pairing just because your music style is very traditional. You're country.
Yeah.
And you don't think that when you think John Legend. But did you still find some things that you apply even now?
I think so. That's one of the things about being on his team. It was like, yes, we were on totally separate ends of the music industry. I'm very traditional country. He's more pop, R&B, like groove. I don't even know what you would call his music, but it was such a weird pairing that it almost worked. No, he didn't pick any of my songs. Blake Shelton and Kelly picked a lot of my songs just because he needed help. I couldn't be the only one, trying to pick these songs. So they helped me a lot. And I think him being such an amazing vocalist and artist and know the music industry so well, that really helped me personally. It wasn't about him not singing country music. It was about him knowing what he's doing. And he taught me a lot. My vocals got better which of course I had a private vocal coach, but my vocals improved on the show. My stage presence improved. I felt just like a more well-rounded artist. I know that's probably not a great way to say that, but I felt like it improved me in general.
Definitely. Bailey Rae joins us, and you're going to have the chance to hear her music Friday night at Joe's Honky-Tonk in Kearney, and then in Valentine on Saturday. Let's talk a little bit about your music. A year ago, you released a single called Broken Heart to Broken Heart that really shows off that traditional side of what you do. Everything, it fits that mold. But talk about your writing style and some of those that you're working with now that have really guided you on the course you're on.
Absolutely. So I took a break for about 2 years on releasing music. I didn't really know what my lane was. There's so many lanes in country music, in Texas country especially. You have more of the rock side, you have more of the southern rock, the red dirt, and then you have more traditional country, and that is who I am, and that's who I've always been. For some reason, for about a year, I was writing and recording things that really weren't who I was as an artist and wasn't traditional country at all, and it felt wrong for me. I love when, I love it just the same. It's just not who I am. I'm a third generation Cowboys daughter. We love country music, real country music. So I guess that was kind of a big break for me. Broken Heart to Broken Heart was my latest release. I was very excited to release it just because it is so dang country. And I have another single about to come out here in the fall that's pretty dang country too. But I've been writing a lot with one of my good friends, Roger Springer, out of Nashville, and Tim Menzies, if you know who Tim Menzies is, and if you know who both of them are. They are just absolutely incredible people to work with. And Monty Holmes, I write a lot in Nashville. I go back and forth pretty often. And to be able to sit in the room with those folks out there has been very special. And I haven't been writing for very long. I've been writing for maybe 2 years. So they're taking me there. It's taken me a minute, and they are very, it's been very easy. They have understood that I have just been, doing this for about 2 years. And so they're very lenient with me. And those big dog songwriters out there sometimes aren't, but they are some of the most special guys I've ever met. And me and Roger Springer have gotten really close. I love his wife just as well. And if you don't know who Roger Springer is, y'all go look him up, because he is so dang good, and he has written a ton of hits. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, he wrote that. He wrote songs for Mark Chestnut. Trying to think who else, but there's been, I can't even imagine how many hit songs he has. It's crazy.
Well, I hope that a lot of folks will take the opportunity to see you while you're in Nebraska. Yeah. That way we can keep you coming back more and more. We would love that. Bailey Rae joins us again Friday night, Joe's Honky-Tonk. And then what's the gig you're playing in Valentine on Saturday?
It's actually the Crazy Day celebration. It's
sure.
It's kind of a street dance. There's going to be like cornhole and shopping all day, and we're the headlining band at the end of the night. So
it's perfect. Yeah, full band shows. We should mention that you're bringing the whole crew.
Yep. I've been back and forth to Valentine so many dang times, but I haven't brought the band. So this may be testing the waters a little bit. We may be tired of each other, but
it's a long trip.
Oh, I know.
It's a long trip.
I know.
We're glad you're making it. Absolutely. Where can we find your music? Where can we find more information about you, Bailey Rae?
So my music you can find on all streaming platforms. I have Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, whatever you got. And then I have a website at baileyraemusic.com. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff at Bailey Rae or Bailey Rae Music, depending on which one you're on.
All right. Well, thanks for taking some time to talk with us. We're looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Well, thank you for having me on. I can't wait to